Yeah, this is Mike B. Alright, they say my timing is now, like a schedule. Rhyming is impeccable, stay focused on the future. My attitude is perpetual, food for thought delectable. I'ma always be.
This is YBBG with a conversation with my guy friend, and today's guy is Mike. Say hi, Mike.
What's going on, folks?
Well, let me tell y'all about Mike. I actually met Mike at an event that I was a vendor for, what was that, earlier in February or end of January?
End of January.
The end of January, and Mike came up to me with the CD, and I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. But he said something to me about the type of music that he produces that I may want to listen to because it wasn't derogatory or anything of that nature. Tell us about your music.
I have a mixtape that just came out in January, the Honesty Project, and basically in my music, it's a reflection of who I am in 18 tracks, no cussing, no derogatory language towards women, and it's something that I choose to do because it's different, and also I'm conscious of what my listeners are listening to.
So you said it's about who you are. Who are you?
Young guy trying to find himself in a profession, trying to find himself in religion, trying to find himself in life. 26 years old, Charlotte, North Carolina native. Been here most of my life. Graduated of Winston-Salem State University. Businessman, trying to be the best man I can be.
Alright, so Mike, we started following each other on Twitter after that event, and I said that I was going to give you this book because you won the book somehow. The only guy who signed up, you won a book. And something you retweeted on Twitter one day caught my attention, and it was something about Lil Wayne, and someone said, what was it? I can't.
Lil Wayne has four kids, or 5 kids, 4 baby mamas. I can't remember the tweet as well, but it went down like from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and basically was indicating how can Lil Wayne teach us how to love.
And what was your feelings about that particular?
I felt that why can't he teach us how to love, or why can't he express his way of showing love, because he doesn't have the typical, he's not married, 2 kids, a dog, a picket fence in the house. Why can't his love be the same as the typical love?
So he's not the American dream version of love, is what you're saying?
Yes.
And so, do you think there are different types of love? Like, is there a good love that, everyone should aspire to, or is it just based on the individual person and what they're going through?
I think love as a whole is the same worldwide, but I think people express their love differently. I would say no. Of course, I would want to stay the same, but when dealing with the industry, though I'm not in it yet, just knowing the little bit that I know, everybody's forced to bend in some kind of way in order to be productive, because you have a machine behind you that wants you to make money, and if what you're doing is not going to sell, you have to compromise between what's real to you and what's going to be successful. So I think that's the battle of every artist, is staying true to self, but also not going so far away from yourself to be successful as well. So I would want to stay the same. Of course, people grow, people change with success, so it's a possibility that some of it could change, but if I'm presenting myself, then I want to present an honest reflection of myself, musically.
Okay, so when you told me that, you had no cursing, no derogatory language towards women in your music, I guess that's a reflection of who you are as a person and how you treat women.
Yeah.
So, if someone were to say, hey, I want to set Mike up with somebody, what would they be able to tell the other person about Mike? What is this good image that Mike has that he portrays in his life?
Well, as you just stated, I'm not derogatory or don't treat women in a derogatory manner. I'm not a big user of profanity myself in normal conversation. They could say that Mike is a conversationist, an enthusiast, respectful, very well mannered. Hopefully they'll say nice looking. A well put together guy.
And you said you expressed, your view of women in your music. How has the pressure, I guess, to sell and to become a bigger star, how has that affected your view on women or how you operate in dealing with women?
At my current status in the music, it hasn't, because the mixtape that I provided is a free mixtape. So everything is what I'm allowed to say. There's nobody on top of me saying you can't do this and you can't do that. But the reason why I called it the Honesty Project, because I feel like being honest is a project. A lot of people, think that, well, you shouldn't lie, or you should be truthful. But if you think about it, we even lie to ourselves, which is so ironic. We lie to God, we lie to our family, we lie to our friends. So though we all try to be completely perfect and completely honest, being honest is a project. So I treat my dealings with women, whether friends, whether relationships, I treat them all the same and try to look at both sides, friends and relationships, with an open eye.
It's funny you should say that. I had an event on Monday, and the topic was, why do we continue to go in circles? And I think the conclusion that we came to kind of stems on what you said about being honest with yourself. Have you found yourself going in circles as far as relationships are concerned, dating the same type of people, or ending up in a friend zone or putting someone in the friend zone? Like, have you found yourself repeating cycles in your relationships?
Before now, yes. I was one who, the same old story, guy gets hurt by first love and then closes his heart. So I was that guy. So I was in not a lot of relationships, but a number of relationships where everything was going good, and the woman decided to take it to another level, but yet my heart or my decisions or my feelings wouldn't allow me to go beyond my current stage. So, of course, we all know that if one person feels one way and another person is not on that same level, it's always going to be a contrast. So eventually with that contrast becomes, anger, separation, guilt, and all those things. So a lot, or the majority of my relationships after I was hurt was in that same circle that you talk about, going in circles. But now I'm currently in a relationship, and that person I was, or that person that I wanted to be, as far as being closed in, I think that slowly but surely I've gotten over that. So now I'm in a position where this one relationship is not going to be, it's going to be outside the circle.
Okay. What did it take for you to step outside of that circle?
Oh, man. Trial and error. Going back to honesty, being honest with myself, am I ready to date, honestly date, and just being willing to think like, if I stay closed in this long, how many good women am I going to miss out on? So I don't know if it's more of the individual that I'm dating that broke me out of the mold, or she just came around at the right time to where I was just willing to open up.
And do you talk about your relationship trials and errors in your music at all?
Yes. A couple of songs that didn't make the mixtape were about, or had some way, form or fashion, showing my relationship struggles. But I think there are one or two on there that can project the way that I felt or feel currently about my relationship.
And as you have grown musically and grown relationship-wise, how do you, reflect that with, I'll say, your homeboys? Because a lot of times other men will feed off of what their homeboys are doing. I joked to somebody that with marriage, it's kind of like the flu when it comes to guys. Like, as one starts falling, all of them catch it. So, do you think your change in relationships and your change in perspective on relationships kind of influence the guys that you hang around?
In a way, yes. I'm not perfect. I'm not, a guy that's completely changed around. But as I try to transform and try to be different, I also verbalize that to the people, the couple of guys that I'm close with. Not only just to influence, but to also share that. And by sharing that, I can spark an interest in them to make them want to be, different or join the route that I'm going as far as being in a relationship.
And so, how does your girlfriend feel about the whole music industry thing?
She supports it from what she shows me behind closed doors, or what she tells her friends. I don't know, but surprisingly, she supports it. And really, we haven't had any, issues where the music industry came in between us, or there was a conflict of interest between what I was doing or what I was saying, and something she didn't feel comfortable with. But I know that if she felt a certain way, she would definitely let me know.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up and tell us more about your CD. There's 18 tracks on it.
18 tracks. And basically, and my attempt was to try to get my audience to know me within those 18 tracks. So, of course, I couldn't give you the whole me, because I have to leave you with something to wait for, something to hold on to when I put out something new the next time. It's a flow. You're going to get a sense of what I think about, a sense of how I feel, sense of how I've grown, the way I grew up, the side of town I'm from, the city I'm from. You're going to get a couple of party tracks, something you can, dance around to for a little bit. And it's basically a good, honest reflection of who I am right now as a person.
And what's the name of your CD again?
The Honesty Project.
And who are you?
Mike B. This is Mike B. And I just had a conversation with your boyfriend's best girlfriend.
Yeah. This is Mike B. Alright, they say my timing is now, like a schedule.